This widow says that she's happy that her husband died. And I kind of get it. So I need you to read this New York Times essay with me because it made me feel some type of way. There's a woman called Annie with a husband called Benny, and Benny dies after 61 years of marriage. And instead of writing about grief, she writes about relief. Like straight up says that she's happier now. And I have thoughts. So quick context first. So these two were married forever, I think 61 years, and they were total opposites the whole time. I think she said that he was a homebody and she wanted to be outside all the time. He was, into sports and watching football, and she was like into watching British murder shows. You know the vibes. She has great taste, by the way. So one day Benny got really sick, like really, really sick. I think he had dementia too. He had multiple organ failures, the whole thing. So she became a full-time caretaker for years, and she gave up her career, her friendships, basically like disappears into taking care of him. So here's where it gets interesting. So she says, and I'm gonna paraphrase, I already mourned him while he was alive because the man I married was already gone. So when he actually dies, she's not destroyed, she was actually relieved. Can we be honest? Does that make you uncomfortable? Because it did not make me uncomfortable. I'll say why. Because I feel like we're taught that there's only one acceptable way to grieve someone, and relief is like not allowed or not supposed to be in the toolbox. But in reality, I think a lot of caregivers feel this and they just never talk about it or say it out loud because we've made it socially like unacceptable to admit that loving someone and being exhausted by keeping them alive can both be true at the same time. It's just called being a human. She was just brave enough to talk about it. So to help her out, there were 4 friends that showed up from 4 different countries, I think. They showed up within hours of him dying just to kind of sit with her and be there for her. And one of them even said that they saw a hawk land on a friend's windowsill the next day, and they were all like, oh, that's him, that's Benny. And she said that she doesn't even believe in that stuff. But it comforted her anyway. So here's something to think about. If you've ever been a caregiver for someone, drop a comment like, did anyone ever tell you it was okay to feel relieved? Because I feel like nobody says that part out loud. So she ends the essay saying that she might dye her hair and maybe get a dog, and that she feels happiness for the first time in years. And honestly, good for her. I don't think that makes her a bad wife or like a bad widow. I think it just makes her honest and simply a human.